We know from these emotional states that things happen inside the brain that are actually disempowering. And what happens is that scientists or researchers, they elicit these states, these emotional ways of feeling and being and behaving, and then they give them, really quite fancy tasks, usually puzzles, and they notice what happens. And so ultimately we end up with these conclusions. And beyond that, someone like me thinks, okay, so how do we actually apply those conclusions for real people with real lives living in the real world, right? So generally negative emotions, they actually narrow our focus rather than give us a peripheral, which in real terms means that you probably won't see the opportunities that actually exist for you. You'll miss half or 90% of what's actually really going on in the world, right? And in manufacturing environments where they actually do these tests, they notice that people actually make more mistakes. There's more damage physically and to property. So there is more accidents that can cause real harm. And they've actually started to understand that it's the emotional state led by the types of thinking that is actually causing people to be in these situations where perhaps it's not necessarily that they're at fault, but they get injured because they've got the opposite of the broaden and build effect going on inside their brain. And it's impacting everything else, their respiration, their oxygenation, their ability to focus in terms of even their eyesight. And I could go on and on and on and on and on, right? So the truth is, it actually also makes us sick. And what I love about Positive Prime is that it causes the broaden and build effect. It actually stimulates it and activates it. It makes us feel slightly better or a lot better. And that actually allows us to become more resourceful. And that's actually a scientific research outcome. They understand that when we have these positive emotions that are elicited, we become more resourceful. And so in these puzzles, as I was telling you about, what they've found is that we come to more elegant answers with more grace. We actually do make more accurate decisions faster. There's a fabulous study that's being repeated a couple of times by Sean Acor and his research team, showing that financial traders who are positively primed make more accurate decisions more consistently and faster than their counterparts who are negatively primed, right? That's a pretty big thing, isn't it? So if there's something that I really want you to understand about Positive Prime that I want you to share with your colleagues or your clients or your audience, it's that the Broaden and Build theory suggests that we have to do whatever is necessary in order to have a uplifting of our emotions, a movement from negative to positive. It happens pretty quickly too, but it does require 3 minutes. Okay, so it doesn't happen inside 15 seconds. And even when Sean Acor and I were talking about this, and we were talking about the art and the science of positive priming, the reality is that we could tell everybody to eat apple pie and the sugar will actually positively prime you, right? But you'll have a spike and you'll then have a drop that's significant and damaging. And we can't go around telling everybody to consume sugar. We now know that Alzheimer's is actually also referred to as diabetes 3, right? So the funny thing is that there are ways that we can positively prime ourselves, but get this, not within 3 minutes and not with the effects lasting 6 to 8 hours.